The other board I've been lucky enough to develop after the freestyle board is the Wakestyle board. This one is just my own personal project I had a while back. I really started to get into cable riding, into Wakestyle and riding the boots with a kite. Tried a wakeboard out on the water before and it's just a bit too slow, too much rocker, too sluggish and just doesn't work. You need to take a massive kite. I find there was always too much power, and with a normal board, kite board with boots, I think there's not enough rocker. It kind of slips out on landing, so I really wanted to develop something that works with a kite and boots, and just one board I can take around to cable parks around the world, go kiting and never have to change my setup. It was based off the shape of my freestyle board, but basically everything else is different. We made it a little wider, tips are the same, but then wider through the middle to accommodate for the boots. When you're edging, you need a little bit of space between the heel and the edge of the boot so the water release and water flow doesn't cut and hit the back of the boots and suck you down, and just makes for a more comfortable ride. So width was the first thing. Strength is another. We needed to go a lot thicker. I wanted to make it a little bit stiffer. Still a little bit of flex, so when you're hitting rails you can really lay into it and get some good presses going down, but stiff enough that the board isn't all over the place, and there's a good rigid section between the boots to keep the strength and not have the board break on you. We also added some channels through the top to add through stiffness just through the centre. That leaves a little bit more flex in the tips and the centre. Quite a big part of it is the rocker line and the channel setup in combination. This board has a little bit more rocker than the freestyle board. Not too much because you don't want it to be too slow, but added a little more just so you can take some bigger landings. It's more or less just keeping the speed, which I've tried to do with the channels here, and it's a very complicated and advanced channel setup through this board. I have like a very, very deep scoop, a double concave right through the centre. You've got two deep channels down the edge, which just keeps you straight and locked in. And when you're edging, the water's funneling through here and the whole water is just getting pushed to the back, kind of acting like fins. And I've been prototyping and riding this board and testing this board for a long time now. And even when I'm doing freestyle and kiting, I don't even ride fins with it at the moment. It comes with the option of some smaller fins. I think it can be a good idea for some real flat water. But whilst I'm traveling around, hitting rails, going to cable parks, it's just nice to have one board that I can use and just have it set up, a clean bottom, just with channels. On the tip, there's a few extra little channels as well, just to keep grip for when you really put that last edge in. The tip gets a lot of pressure in there, flexes, the channels release the water nicely, and you get a really good pop. I've been really, really happy with this board, and looking at a lot of wakeboards, looking about what you need in kiteboarding, I just tried to make a combination and a hybrid board that really just works for it. And I really find myself riding boots a lot now, and I really enjoy that style on a kite. So my freestyle board comes in 138, and that's by 40 wide. There's going to be the 135, 132 as well. This is going to be more of a kind of limited edition, just a one size, one board, 138 by 43 wide, and that's just going to come in one size, maybe a couple of stances just to try, but I'm using a 50cm stance on this, and I think that works pretty perfect with the board, and I think that works for most people as well. It's just sort of a standard size, so we just gone for that. Jumping on this before, when I was getting into boots and didn't quite have the right boards, I really found like quite a struggle in some conditions and certain things, and now I've got this board developed, I find most conditions a lot more comfortable and I'm able to use them a lot more. And overall, I think that's quite a good thing for me and my kiteboarding, because you're able to pop a lot more, land a lot harder, and hit kickers and go huge and just take landings. And that's what I've tried to aim to do with my kiting, and trying to make this board work for that.